Well, good morning, everybody. 6 o'clock. Oh, 600. Got out here a little bit late because Connie's working overtime, so her weekend shifts run a little later in the morning, so I got to wait till she gets home, then take my walk. So anyway, making good time. I'm on lap number 2. It's 6 o'clock. I'm going to take my third lap without the pack and probably bring my hat because the sun, yeah, it looks like it's going to be coming up anytime soon. There's a lot more people on the track, and I always feel funny about recording like this, blah, 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 when people are walking by. I don't have their permission to film them and stuff like that, so I try to be courteous. Anyway, the perfect game. Man, what would the perfect game include? That's a tough one, right? Well, how about this? We'll make it simple. The perfect game should include everything that we can and can't already do. I know, monumental, right? Well, let's start off with multiplayer. Co-op, baby. You got to be able to play with your friends. That's what makes things awesome. Yeah, so it's got to be co-op. Okay. Multiplayer. I'm going to go ahead and nix PvP right now. I know you guys might hate on me, but I hate PvP, so not this game. You create your own perfect game with PvP. Aspects of survival. You got to have air, you got to have shelter, you got to have water, you got to have food. And let's go ahead and put fun in there too. Like, you got to keep their spirits up. You got to keep them entertained, solve puzzles, have fun once in a while. Have a guild drinking meeting or something. Get your character drunk. Go to a little party, dance, use your emotes. Have a conversation with somebody new once a week. I don't know, anything like that. The simple stuff. You need a job. You got to find a way to, if it's going to be massive and multiplayer, an economy is going to be set up. Trade is a big thing. People who settle by the coast of the world would have an influx of fish. People who settle more toward the mountains would have more ore and minerals. So trade would be a big thing. This means currency. Well, currency means you got to have a job. Or can we do without that? I don't know. An RPG aspect. Your character needs to be able to grow, get stronger as they do things. Whatever you do makes that better. As, practice makes perfect. Well, that's kind of basic. It's a lot of games like that. Adventure. The thrill of quests. And not just the FedEx quests and the little tiny go collect these herbs that are sitting right next to me stuff. Early game, I know you have to have those small quests, but I'd like to see quests take a step up. I'd like to see the quest game of games evolve. Some adventure aspect, some kind of plot, some kind of story arc. Let's see, what else? Fantasy. Mystical creatures and magic, baby. You gotta have magic in there. But with magic, I'd also like to see elements of technology as well. And say, if you pursue a track in technology, then you kind of tap out on the magic deal, and you can't use the mana or the spirit of the environment to cast fire or whatever. So if you go into tech, you lose your magic affinity. If you go into magic affinity, you fumble through tech. This is why I don't like gnomes, because gnomes can use magic and technology, and I don't like that. So no gnomes. There will be no gnomes in this game. Screw the gnomes. Factions. Guilds. Major cities. A way for you to spec into a specific type of skill set or job that weakens other things, but you get massive bonuses for that. Like if you go, let's say if you go rogue, eventually there's this test that only good rogues can pass. There's no way for a tank to do it. A healer can't touch it. Other types of DPS like hunters or whatever, rangers, they can't mess with it. But a rogue can. So they can pass the test and get into this place where the master rogues train, become better. Same with technology. You got to solve this puzzle in order to get past it. With a tank, you have to endure the gauntlet. With a healer, you have to master a certain type of potion or healing art. And then you get into your, guilds, whatever. I know a lot of games have these things already, but early game, it's all about you being stranded and learning how to survive, and then building up and becoming more self-reliant, joining a group. I don't know. Maybe it's crazy, but those are all aspects of the perfect game for me. Stuff we can already do and all the stuff we can't do, all wrapped into one. What's your perfect game? Tell me about it in the comments. Hope your week's going well, or weekend, depending on when you watch this. One lap to go. Hope I make it before the sun rises. I don't know. You guys have a good one. Thank you. Be smart. Please stay safe out there. And thanks as always for bearing with me. All the gratitude aside, today's topic. I had this concept a long time ago that, I don't know, somebody smarter than me has probably said it better, or some doctor came up with the idea before I thought of it myself. And anyway, I think every decision we make there's 4 parts of us that go into every decision. I may not be wording this the right way, so just, bear with me. Ha ha ha. I think there are 4 parts of us that go into each decision we make. Our mind, our heart, our gut, and our desire. Yes, you can draw a straight line through the body with that. So there's going to be a little humor in every lesson here, right? Our mind knows what is correct, the logical course of action. Our heart, it's what feels right. Our gut, that's what you need. And your desire, your passion is what you want. So you've got the correct response, the right path, your needs, and your wants. And if there's a balance, you're all good. When there's not a balance, beware. So a new situation comes your way, and you're thinking about it with these 4 things. I separate them, but you probably don't. Most people, I don't think about this kind of stuff. Let's say this is the correct path. This is the correct answer. Excuse me, saying spider webs. But something about it just doesn't feel right. Okay, go to the 3rd step. What's your gut tell you? I don't need to do this. Don't. Or if your gut says, you can handle this, you'll be all right, go for it. If you get 2 answers in the same direction, when you start with your head, go for it. Do that. Or don't if they're both negative. We have lost the light, so I'm going to pick it up when we got light. Actually, no. I'm going to walk the other way. I'm still walking 4 miles, so I'll just turn around. And there we go. Sorry. Coming back to the light. I'm trying to keep you guys in my face in the light so it's not such a dark video from now on. So you come to a new situation and your brain tells you this is the right course of action. But your heart says, this doesn't feel right. Go with your gut. Your gut will either tell you you need to do this or you don't need this. It's not a priority. And then you have 2 answers in one direction and you go with that. What about the 4th, right? Nope. If you get 2 answers in the same direction, follow it. Because sometimes Decisions and choices in our life start at the other end. It's something you really desire. You want it so bad. Immediately think about your gut. If your gut says, yeah, you need this, it's a need, well then go for it. If your gut says, this is not a need, we'll be fine without it, does it feel right is the next question. Because when it starts off with desire, whether or not it's correct or incorrect is less important, I think, than whether or not you need it and it feels right. I think those are two very important questions to follow. I want this. Just like if it starts off with your mind and this is the correct course, does it feel right? And then do you need it? Because you've got emotion on either end of it. One starts with emotion, the other starts with logic. You start off with a passion, that's emotion. The next question is logic-based. Is this a need? If you start off with logic, is this the correct path? The next question is about emotion. Does it feel right? I think that pretty much sums it up. I don't know if this is something people consider or not, but it was something that I was fascinated with years ago, and I thought I would share. So, let me know what you think in the comments. Morning Thoughts with Red Baron. Thank you guys. Be smart. Please stay safe out there. And thanks as always for bearing with me.